Dr. Iman Forotan, he is the chairman and executive director of the New Iran. That is an organization which openly opposes the leadership in the Islamic Republic of Iran. Thank you for being with us again. Do you support this move?
Hi, Michelle. Thanks for having me on. Absolutely. The sanctions that have been imposed as of today and the previous phase 3 months ago, that's the type of smart sanctions that organizations and opposition groups like the New Iran have been asking for and writing about to people in power in Washington and European Union for over 10 years. So we are very glad that these smart sanctions have gone into place. As your reporter mentioned, it is really bringing down the regime to its knees, and we feel that's the best way and the least bloody way and least violent way to actually have a controlled downfall of the regime due to its economic situation.
I hear your point, and those sentiments echoed by others in Iran's resistance, praising the move online and elsewhere. But these sanctions will hurt the economy, and of course, that will first impact ordinary Iranians in the street. They will be feeling the pain before the mullahs in the regime will. Do you get the sense, though, that they are willing to suffer this pain if it does lead to regime change?
Yes, the answer is yes. We are very well aware of the effect, that negative impact that this has on ordinary people, the average people. Iranian people already, more than half of the population is under the poverty line. Our organization and others for the last few months have been warning about this. We've been asking to be able to store additional food and medicine. And our message recently has been for people who do have the money inside Iran, that's their responsibility now, that in any way and shape that they can, to support the poor people who are going to be mostly impacted negatively, either through the nonprofit organizations, through their neighborhood and stuff. And we already know a lot of that is going forward. However, over the years, the Iranian people that we're in touch with just about 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, they tell us, Dr. Forotan, we much prefer to go this route than to have a military attack against Iran, or to have a bloody situation and violent situation that has been going on in Syria or other similar places.
Iman, there have been several regime changes in Iran. So assuming that these sanctions work and the economic pressure does indeed result in a regime change, what's to say that a different Iranian regime would be less hostile to the U.S. and Israel?
Well, as your audience may know, Iranian people are very different and are totally separate and must be distinguished from the Iranian ruling party, which is a tyrannical regime. If I should probably add here that when 9/11 happened in the United States, the only country in the whole Middle East where the people got into the streets with candle lights and vigils supporting the United States and being together with the people of the United States because of that attack were the Iranian people, and they were encountered by the regime's forces in the streets because of that act. Iranian people have had a long-term relationship with the United States and the Western world. They love to be here. They would love to have a great relationship with Israel and with the United States. Israel has been very kind. Prime Minister Netanyahu recently actually opened a website in Farsi, Iranian language, to help and show how Iran can actually address some of its water shortage problems.
Right.
So Iranian people have no problem with U.S. and Israel. It's only this tyrannical mullahs that are the jihadist terrorists that's the only way that they can stay in power, by making these slogans down to death to America, death to Israel.
And despite what seems to be the will of the Iranian people, the European powers are still adamant on sticking with this deal. Iman, now that the Europeans are seeing how Iran is using funds from the deal to finance terror campaigns like the one in Denmark, where there was a foiled assassination attempt, and the one in Paris, where there was another foiled attempt to kill an opposition rally, do you think that the Europeans may slowly come to their senses and change their positions on this?
You're absolutely right. A few weeks ago, when you had me on this program, this whole subject came up when General Assembly of United Nations were going on, and that's when the European Union announced this potential financial system to get around the sanctions. And I told you there's no plan, there's no details. As of today, there's no European country that has yet accepted to support the infrastructure for this new banking system. So, and this new sanctions are already in. So I believe the European countries are looking for excuses in order to be able to get out of the nuclear deal, and mainly because of these terrorism activities that you just mentioned. Denmark, as recalled, is ambassador. France has not yet sent a new ambassador. So you're absolutely right. I think sooner than later, Europe also will decide there's no reason to work with this terrorist regime any longer.
Dr. Iman Foroughitan, thank you for your time. Appreciate it as always.
Thank you.